What's up, Star Wars fans? It's Chris, and I'm one with the Force. May the Force be with you, and hit that subscribe button now.
What's up, y'all? Thank you for being with me today. First things first, there will be spoilers for Jedi Fallen Order Story. That's what you clicked this video for, so I don't want to hear anything about it as we move forward. So I'm expecting you either played the game all the way through, or you just want to know about the story because, I mean, the story is that good. It is, as a Star Wars fan, as just someone that wanted to, or if you're just someone that just wanted to become a Jedi, whatever it was, any Star Wars element that you came in to this game with, I mean, it reaches that level. This is a true Star Wars story that, for someone like myself, I will never forget, and it fits right into the canon, and, you know, I'm definitely going to hold on to it. And there's so many different reasons for that. You know, you got Cal, you got Seer, you know, Vader's up in here. I mean, the lore that's given now with Cordova and the Zepho and Order 66. I mean, we're gonna break different elements of this down and just kind of my experience with it all. You know, this is such an immersive experience for everybody that played it, I'm sure. So it's gonna be interesting to see kind of how I thought about when these things are going off compared to how, you know, your guys' playthrough went. So first off, I played out on Jedi Knight. Let me say that first. I finished my first playthrough on Jedi Knight, and I seem to, just from most people's experience, I would say my combat was good compared to others, but once I put it up to Jedi Master at the end of the game, I realized I'd still be playing the game had I tried to play on Jedi Master the whole time. But let's just start with the start of the story. You know, when you're going in, you're with Prof, and, you know, you're on the planet there. The engineers there are just cleaning some stuff up, and then Prof ends up getting killed by the second sister. Sorry. Now, for me, that was the moment that drove me, you know, with the immersion up into a certain point. And I didn't hear a lot of people bring that up. You hear a lot of people talk about the Order 66 scene, and they talk about the ending scene with Vader. But that first scene where where she stabs Prof and you're going through the trains fighting the stormtroopers. I mean, like, for most of the game, I was like trying to get back to that kind of hype in that moment because that was awesome. And then on the train where your master grabs you and, you know, trust only in the Force, like, that was, man, that got me. Like, I was listening, those words like stuck with me the whole time. Every time I get in trouble, I'll be like, hey, you know, trust only in the Force. Like, that's what my master told me. You know, so I really loved that first thing there. I really ended up loving the master, and then I hated the second sister because of what she did to Prof. And then I go back to the later game, and I talked about how good I was with the combat, but there was Trilla, second sister, she was the only boss fight, Saber the Saber, that I could not beat. The other ones, I think I lost to Tyra Malicos and the ninth sister. I probably lost a total of 3 or 4 times to them before I beat them. But Trilla was stomping me. Like, I had to tap into the dark side to finally get her. Like, even when I was finished, like, I was satisfied, but I was like huffing and puffing, like, yes, like, finally. Like, I had to give in to the rage. Like, I didn't even know what happened. Like, I had to, you know, I had to figure out, because she was just killing me so many times. Her grab kept getting me. It wouldn't let me jump. It was frustrating. But anyway, that was so satisfying to finally get her done. But it was because of that first scene when she kills Prof that, like, well, I really hated her and hated that I could not beat her. You know, I was like, oh, she was their favorite character, and I definitely understand she was a great character, but she wasn't my favorite character because I hated her. I'm telling you, I hated her for killing Prof like that. But moving on, you know, let's kind of talk about the game's presentation, because you're going from the beginning. You're jumping around on all these big, you know, different parts of the map, and you're seeing all this great Star Wars content out there. I mean, it's really, really engaging. Like, it pulled me right in as a fan, no question about it. You know, you're fighting against all these enemies in the Star Wars universe. I mean, it was really special. Now, as you go along, you're figuring out things about Seer and, you know, her previous relationship, and obviously it turns out that Trilla is, you know, her Padawan, her former Padawan that turned into the second sister. Now, that stuff for me was, you know, it was done really well, especially when you consider you never played through with Sarah. Like, their side, you know, their side characters are not the main character. It was done well on that, but again, that was more just, I guess we just don't get to see as much of it, so it's hard for me to really grab around all of it, even though we do get some good scenes that they show eventually. But without really knowing, you know, their relationship from back then a little better, it's hard to really see that as hard as you do like everything that happens with Cal and his master, because you're going through, you get all those flashbacks where you're training with him. He's always helping you out. Like that was obviously the main story, but we also see that Seer had her own struggles as well, and then Trilla, and then Marion was also one that I was a little more not confused by, but I didn't know what to think of her, because again, through the game I was mad at her too, and she was bringing all these people on me. I remember the first time I went to Dathomir, like I knew that I was in over my head a bit, but then she pops up and brings those Night Brothers on me, and like those Night Brothers, the first time I tried to fight them, they made me retreat. Like I didn't know what to do. They were whooping me, so like I was mad at her, and then she kept popping up, and then she ended up helping me with Tyron and hopping on the squad, and she was definitely fun when she got on the squad. Like that was good, but that kind of I definitely didn't see that one coming. We'll talk at the end of this about a sequel, what she could do in the sequel, but happy that she's a part of it. I guess in terms of just the game being so canon, I'm not as caught up on what's going on Dathomir at this time, but it seems a little weird that the last Night Sister would be with Cal. Again, just from what I know, like I don't really know, but we'll see where that all goes. Now the Cordova and the Zepho, all that stuff, you're following that through the story, but that's something I'm definitely gonna have a better grasp on the second time. Now obviously Cordova had left these secret messages for BD1 for the next Jedi. Whoever finds them can discover the secrets, and they can find all the the Force sensitive children, and restart the Jedi Order, and that's what you think is going to happen. I remember that's why I wanted to rush through the story, because I was thinking that that there was going to be some big revelation about what's to come with the Jedi Order, which didn't turn out to be the case. That maybe that was Marion's role, is just kind of to put those whispers in Cal, like if you bring these children in and train the Jedi Order, all that's going to happen is the Empire is going to hunt them down. Like just how you were in hiding all those years. I mean, the Empire, they are after you. Like they will be killed or turned into Inquisitors. Like we know that. We see that even more deeply in this story, but even in other pieces of the canon, like what was it, Lord Vader or something book I read, I forget what it's called, but like they're going after and Vader's killing all these Jedi, across the galaxy, the Empire, these Purge troopers, these Inquisitors, like they're killing them all. Like you're setting them up for doom and for to be killed and kidnapped. So you see how he makes that decision there at the end, and it was shocking and a little quick, but ultimately they did what they needed to. But let's back up and talk about, I'm sure what everyone's been wanting to talk about, those last two scenes there. I wanted to save that for last. Obviously with the position I'm in, as much as I'm on social media and this shit, like I got spoiled on both of them. I knew there was an Order 66 scene. I knew there was a Darth Vader, something coming. For some reason, I thought there was a Darth Maul in here too. I think I must have been some clickbait something, but I saw some Darth Maul something about Jedi Fallen Order, which ended up not being true, I guess. But anyway, I didn't know when either was coming. I guess I knew when Vader was coming, but I didn't know when the Order 66 was coming. But you start playing it. You're playing with your clone friends, and I thought that was pretty cool. Like I wanted to do a little more with them, like just see what the clone designs. We hadn't really got to see them as much, in there, but that was slick. And then they turn, and you and your master are trying to escape, on ship while the clones are going after you. And part of one of the best parts of the game that's definitely highlighted here in this scene is the damn music. The music in this game is top notch. Like that intro music that's in the load screen, and it's playing, as your master is dying in front of you. Like that is now like one of the best Star Wars, scores as far as like a moment like that. Like I would not mind if that song at all appeared in one of these movies or TV series. Like in a moment like when it's needed, it hits now. For me, that song hits now. Even that damn rock song from the beginning. I don't know what he's saying, but like towards the end of the game, like I like that damn song. It plays when you're when you're going into that gladiator type arena when you get kidnapped. I like that little song, and then Cal song's good too. So like the music that's playing during this scene really just sets the mood as you're going through and just trying to escape, and your master's just slaughtering all these clones, trying to escape. And it really just adds so much for Cal, this getting to see this scene, and that his master, just died in his arms trying to save him as he escaped from the ship. And I'm just like in shock there, just like frozen, like, you know, when that music playing and he's gives me the saber, you know, and it's dying, and trust only in the Force again, you know, those words, like, man, like that was some great stuff. I mean, these three scenes I'm talking about, the first scene, this Order 66, and the Vader scene, different parts of them, like, they are just great Star Wars. Like, just, you know, I put it in the same class as I say some of the Clone Wars and Rebels episodes are, where, like, they are as good as Star Wars as they're, you know, up there. If you would have like a top 50 Star Wars moments and scenes, like, for me, those three, you know, are up in there. I think it's all really good stuff. With the immersed as I was in the story, like, these moments will really stick out. And I don't know if that's just something about the game too, like playing through this yourself, what makes it feel just so much more immersive. And that's just how I play games. I love being immersed in them. Like, I'm happy that I played Spider-Man PS4 before this, because it's been a while. It had been a while since I played a single player experience like these games. But so I knew how I like to play games like this. I need to put my headphones on. I don't want any distractions for the next, you know, hour, however long I end up playing it, right? So, like, I know I need to be like that. And so since I did that with Jedi, every time there was an emotional moment, or just like they wanted the music to hit right, like, I was all the way in it. All right, so now let's talk about the Vader scene. Now, again, I was spoiled on this, but obviously, you know, if you guys didn't know, that's that little planet that you don't go to is Mustafar. You know, they don't explicitly say that, but it's heavily implied. The same thing, the planet where you guys make your new lightsaber, I think it's called Ilum. That is Starkiller Base. It's the same planet that the First Order uses to, you know, they use those kyber crystals to power the weapon. That's Starkiller Base, in case you guys didn't know. But anyway, so you go to the planet, I think it's called Null, and you're trying to get to the Inquisitor base to get that holocron. And, you know, you're weaving through. Seer's there to help you. She's got, you know, her Inquisitor saber that you stole, and you guys are in there, and you had that fight with Trilla, which, god damn, she busted my ass, like I was telling him. Like, again, there were some times I got close, and there was one time I got real close, like, oh yeah, just give me a few more tries. And she proceeded to beat me like at least 15 more times after that. I mean, it was close to 30 attempts. Not quite there, but she took me a while. I don't know why. She was, again, I really did well with the combat compared to what other people did, but my Trilla experience was not everybody else's. Some people said the other bosses were harder. No, Trilla was tapping my ass. Well, anyway, so after you finally beat her, you know, she's all the way gone. She's done. And then you hear Vader coming up behind her, and you can see it in her face. She knows, like, he's coming, what's about to happen, and you have failed me, Inquisitor, which is just a great Vader line, you know, just fits in perfectly, and he's about to slash her down. And what really, you know, I actually rewatched the moment on YouTube. I didn't catch it quite when I played it, but her avenge us, like, I knew she said something, but her avenge us, like, that's actually powerful, because she was gone. Like, she was not coming back to the light, but in her last moment, like, avenge us, like, avenge the Jedi, like, avenge us, like, because look what they've done to me. Like, that's, you know, that's a powerful moment. And, you know, for you Trilla fans, and even for someone that all game was trying to hate her and kill her, like, that was some powerful stuff. And then really, and I actually want to talk about this a little afterwards, but maybe we'll just get into it. But then Vader tosses Seer over his shoulder, and you have you know, you'd be wise to run, and you eventually just having a run, and Vader's throwing all these you know, pieces of metal at you. I mean, it gets crazy. He's crazy powerful. But there's a moment there after you escape briefly where you're separated from Vader, where I got immersed. Like, I stopped and realized, damn, like, Vader just killed Seer, like, and that was a moment for me. Like, I literally sat there and just could not believe that, like Vader just killed her like that. And it was powerful because it was Vader that did it. Like, Vader just killed her like it was nothing. All of a sudden, Seer, like someone I've been going through this entire journey with, was just thrown over the ledge and just killed like that. Her entire story, everything with Trilla, all that stuff was just like that. It was wiped out by Vader. He took out Trilla and took out Seer just like that. And honestly, I cannot stress enough, like, I know they're making a sequel. I wish that they had died. I wish that Trilla's obviously dead, but I wish Seer had died there too. I think it would have added like just so much to that moment. Like they had such this dynamic going between them. Apprentice, master, she became Inquisitor. Her last moment, she avenge us. Like all the guilt that Seer felt in this, and then for Vader to just toss them both aside. Like you failed me. / you coming at me, bitch. Over the shoulder. Like I think that would have been an awesome way to end it, and just give give that a moment for Vader even more power. And then on Cal's side, they just have to go, obviously you have to change the way the ending goes, but just have him get out of there some other way. That they clearly wanted him to survive. You can have him do it a different way. So you do that to where when it's all over, you were just left with like, damn, like that's what happened. Like this Vader dude is a problem. The Empire is a damn problem. Like I'm not putting all these Force sensitive children through this. Like no one needs to serve this fate. I wish they had done that. And we'll talk about the sequel, and I'll get a little more into that. But for me, when I had that moment after escaping Vader briefly, when I thought Seer was dead, it was very powerful for me, and I was a little upset that didn't. I know she came back in a heroic way, but I was kind of wishing that she had just. I think it would have been better if she just would have stayed dead, honestly. So anyway, she does come back, and in the last attempt, you guys are able to escape Vader. And get to shore, and that's pretty much the game. And they set up a sequel. They say what other adventures are out there in store for us. It's you, Sarah, and Maren, and I think Maren could definitely have a bigger role with all her magic and stuff, and whatever gameplay elements they want to add to the next game. I think Maren could be a part of that. But I thought this story was really great, guys. Star Wars. I think that whether through DLC they will add stuff to the game. I'm not sure if it'll be more story, but I think they will add, just ways to play some different enemies, or maybe just some different maps or different things to unlock, things like that. But again, the Star Wars story here, it was great, and something that like I'll try to, when I replay it, I'm gonna wait to see some of those scenes again, because it was good stuff. Or you can even find them on YouTube. Just great stuff. And for the sequel, like I said, Sarah's coming. I wish that she had been killed there by Vader, but with the sequel, they have to figure out a way to close this out, because Cal will probably have to have his fate within the next 5 to 10 years, so how are they going to work that out? They could have had it happen here with Vader. They could have done that, but maybe they're going to try to do it with the sequel. At the same time, though, getting a little different. Seeing a game like this, people were talking about maybe doing something like this with just established characters, like a Luke after Return of the Jedi. I think that would always be something that I'd be willing to do, and definitely something where the character's powers are already in place. I don't think we ever need to go through this. I need to learn how to push something with the Force again. All that stuff can already be there, and you just kind of develop your skills deeper beyond that. And you can definitely do that with Luke. But I would like to see something where they make a completely original story, and it make it canon, but you got to make the character customizable. And again, Cal was great. This is nothing against Cal, but it would have been great as a black man if I could have been like a black Jedi. Now I understand this is Cal Kestis' story, so they could not do that here because the customization options for Cal were just super limited. The Cal is Cal, but they make they can create some story, whether in a different period or just something not as tied into what's going on in the movies, to where it's a creative character, and if they have to, if the character is so canon that he has to have a name, like you can't everyone else, like my name's Chris, somebody else my name might be John, right? So it can't be a different name. Maybe he has some kind of nickname that just is a universal, that is him, and whenever that name comes up in canon again, like if you played that game, you just know that that's your played character, something like that. That'd be nice to see down the line. So I don't know if they're gonna make a sequel for Cal, directly next, or if they're gonna try to do something with an established character and a story for them in the game, or something original where they can kind of, the person playing the game can kind of see themselves more in the Jedi. And I played Cal that way, where I was seeming like it was myself, but even still, I would say more so just the customization options that they gave you, more than just the Cal character would have helped. But I would still like the next game to, look a little more like myself than I did. And I think everyone feels that way. Like, not, you know, just black people. I'm sure there's a lot of white people that don't look like Cal, you know, that, you know, maybe wanted to be a little bigger, you know, maybe wanted to have, you know, longer hair, different color hair, you know, or just something. But anyway, a little off topic of the story. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Those are kind of just my thoughts on Jedi Fallen Order Story, and you know, where I think things may go, where they might take the game. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I definitely have like a gameplay video coming out for you guys soon. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. All right.